Hi, everybody, and welcome back for episode 4. Why are you...
I forgot the name of the show.
I did too for a second.
I'm like, he's going to be saying something, looking at me. I'm like...
Okay.
Okay, go.
Okay.
I got it. From Arts to Adam, the Ultimate Curiosity Show.
Okay. All right. 3, 2... Hi, everybody, and welcome back for episode 4 of From Art to Atoms.
It's Arts to Adams.
No, it's just art.
The Ultimate Curiosity Show.
Oh, God, let's do it again. Hi, everybody, and welcome back for episode 4 of From Art to Atoms.
The Ultimate Curiosity Show.
I'm Brandon Shoemaker.
I'm Michael Fulse.
All right, so this week we decided to, it's a very special episode for us.
Why?
Because this is the first time we've ever had a guest interview.
Oh, I forgot about this person coming in.
Our focus is going to be on the latest technological innovations of AI, and specifically focusing on one that seems to be pretty dominant in the culture overall, and that's ChatGPT.
I don't know how new it is, I guess.
Yeah, it's been out for a couple of years now.
This one at least has been.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we wanted to talk about this, is because AI seems to be changing at a rapid pace.
We'll just say that this chat, it gets smarter every single day.
Yeah.
So technically...
Well, actually, not really. Well, ChatGPT at least doesn't. But other formats, other versions, things like that, we'll get into that when we get into the interview.
Okay.
It's technically an interview. We're approaching it like an interview, but there is no physical person here with us. We are interviewing ChatGPT about herself. Itself. There we go. About itself. I don't want to assume its gender.
We need to name this thing. So, what are we going to name it?
What, ChatGPT?
Yeah, let's give it a name or a nickname.
Oh, okay. You know what I went for immediately, thinking?
What?
You're going to hate it, probably.
What?
Data.
Oh yeah, no.
I know. For the biggest.
He's so overused.
For the
character.
For being the biggest Star Trek nerd I know, other than myself, Michael hates the character of Data.
I don't hate Data. I just think that Data as a character was overused too much and other characters were sidelined because of him. I agree with, though, the same thing with Worf. So don't... Worf and Data were like the two that were overused too much.
He was frequently the focus of shows and movies, for that matter. And even the latest shows. I was like, anyway, yeah. Sorry, not the episode for Star Trek. We are going to have one on Star Trek later on, though.
That's going to be the best episode. Stay tuned, folks. We're going to boldly go.
So what are we going to name it?
Luca.
You can't name it Luca. He's going to respond. So my dog is named Luca, and he is literally sitting at Michael's feet right now while we're recording.
His nickname is Little Man.
He has a lot of nicknames.
All right, well, let's just call it Chatty.
Chatty. Okay, I like that. Chatty.
So you're ready to go ahead and introduce Chatty to the audience?
Yeah. So, all right. So I got kind of a head start on this the other day, asking more of the boring questions that we won't bother you with all of. But basically what we're going to do is I'm going to read the questions that I've asked, and Michael is going to respond in the voice of Chatty, whatever he chooses that to be. Even if it's just his own voice, that's fine. And now let's preface this with, so ChatGPT, if you haven't used it, is very prevalent in our lives as teachers because it is an incredible tool that I use quite a bit for various things, but it's also something that our students can potentially use to get out of actually doing their own writing and their own assignments.
To be fair, your usage of Chatty is the same as theirs, except yours comes to the form of
Oh, absolutely.
lesson plans and other things like that. So you are technically
Well, but no. So there. Okay, where is it written anywhere that says lesson plans have to be original?
no. And I will say also that we are not being graded on our lesson plans, so we're not trying to show knowledge. We already have that there.
Exactly.
This is just an easy way to do it because lesson plans basically are.
A waste of time. Sorry, admin out there, but they are, and you know it.
You don't even read them. I mean, it's like basically making us write a 7 to 8 page document each week that you don't even look at.
7 to 8 pages. I've never made weekly lesson plans that are 7 to 8 pages.
Oh, I mean, I was thinking about when we were in
School.
intern schools where our lesson plans for one unit had to be like 21 pages
Oh
long.
yeah, that was so obnoxious. Yeah, any education students out there listening, yeah, you'll never actually do that in real life. Just FYI. Sorry, don't tell your professors. I don't want them to get mad at us.
It's a good skill to know.
It is, but it's rather impractical.
I will also say that most curriculum companies at this point provide that for you.
Exactly. So ChatGPT is, it's a generative writing model essentially that can. I mean, I've heard stories on the news of where ChatGPT was used by lawyers to write briefs, and that the court cases that it cited in the brief did not exist. So anyway, I mean, like I said, I have used it myself quite extensively for a number of different things, ranging from writing recommendation letters for students. And I'll tell you what I find most beneficial about it is not just getting it to generate something and using it, but using what it writes as my basis, and then I go in and I edit it and I revise it.
And that's what we teach our students to do with that, honestly. A good educator is going to use the tools that are available to them, and so using it as a springboard is a really good idea. So that is one of the ways that we are teaching kids to respect it, but still use it.
Well, exactly, because I mean, it's one of those things like with any new technology, it's there, it's not going away. So you have to learn how to embrace it and not just try to fight it, because that's fighting a losing battle. So yeah, that's what we teach our students to do. So without further ado, let's let Chatty discuss this for themselves. So with ChatGPT, one thing that you need to know is that you have to be very specific in your prompts. It's that old, I remember learning this phrase in elementary school in the Apple IIe computer lab, garbage in, garbage out. If you put in a very vague question or something like that, you're going to get a very vague or incorrect or off-topic response. So the more specific you can be in your prompts, the better results you'll get that ChatGPT generates. So with that in mind, we're not always going to be that specific with these questions that we're asking, but just for future reference, that's what works best. So let's welcome to the show ChatGPT, as we've decided to affectionately call it Chatty. Hi, would you mind if I interview you for a podcast I co-host?
Hi, I'd be happy to participate in an interview for your podcast. What would you like to discuss?
I'd like to discuss you, how you work, your practical applications, things like that.
That sounds great. I'm ready whenever you are. What questions would you like me to start with? And to be fair, also, this is the first time I'm seeing the responses. So if I chuckle or giggle, this is because, well, I'm not going to giggle, but this is why.
First, what does ChatGPT stand for?
ChatGPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Here's a breakdown of each term. So generative, my first name, basically says that this means that the model generates new data. In the case of GPT, it generates text based on the input it receives. My middle name, pre-trained, this model is initially trained on a large corpus of text data before being fine-tuned for a specific task. This pre-training allows it to understand language patterns and structures. Now my last name, Transformer.
Cool last name, by the way.
It's more than meets the eye. This refers to the architect. You should go ahead and put the Transformers Soundbite right here.
Oh, yeah.
All right, transformer. This refers to the architecture of the model. The transformer is a type of neural network architecture that is particularly good at processing sequential data like text and is the backbone of many state-of-art language models.
What do you mean by model?
I mean, that's when I walk the runway. So in the context of artificial intelligence and machine learning, a model refers to a mathematical representation or algorithm that has been trained to perform specific tasks. For GPT-4, the model is a complex neural network designed to understand and generate human-like text based on the input it receives.
Wow. So it sounds like you essentially have the digital equivalent of a human brain.
So in some ways, it's a good analogy, but there are some important differences. Number one, the architecture of my brain. While neural networks are inspired by the human brain, they're much simpler and more specialized. The human brain is vastly more complex and capable of a wide range of functions. Learning, human brains learn continuously and adapt to new experiences in real time. My learning is based on vast amounts of text data and up to certain cutoff date. For example, my most recent upload for ChatGPT 4 is September 2021. I don't learn from new interactions or update my knowledge in real time. And understanding. Humans have consciousness, emotion, and a deep understanding of context and meaning. I generate text based on patterns in the data that I've been trained on, but if I don't have true understanding or awareness. And capabilities. I can process and generate text quickly and can handle large amounts of data at once. However, my understanding is limited to the data and context I've been trained on, and I can't perform tasks that require real-world interaction or sensory input. So while there are similarities in the way my neural network and human brain process information, the analogy has its limits. I'm a powerful tool for generating and understanding text, but I don't possess the full range of human cognitive abilities. And I want to point out really fast, that's a good thing, because we definitely don't want this thing adapting to us and then become some Terminator world.
Well, exactly. And, you know, the other thing that I find interesting and something that I did not know until I asked it this question is, like it said, that its knowledge base stops at September 2021 for the current model. So, you know, it's not like, in other words, I guess we're recording this podcast on Monday, July 15th. So just 2 days after former President Trump was shot. So I'm guessing ChatGPT would have no knowledge of that event unless it accesses news sources or something in the meantime. I'm not really sure. All right, back to the interview. So how exactly do you work? When we ask you questions, what happens?
When you ask me questions, several processes take place almost instantaneously to generate a response. Number one, your input processing. Your question is first converted into a format that the model can understand, usually a tokenized sequence of text. Number two, context understanding. I'm going to take into account the context of the conversation, including previous interactions, to better understand your question. Pattern recognition is the next step. I'm going to use my pre-trained knowledge to recognize patterns and structures in the input text. And this is going to involve multiple layers of the neural network working together to parse the input and determine the most relevant information. At that point, I can then generate, based on the recognized patterns of the context, I'm going to generate a response. And this is done by predicting the next word in a sequence, one at a time, using probabilities derived from the training data. At that time, then the output is taken care of, and the generated text is then converted back into a readable format and sent to you as a response. Here's a simplified example. You ask, what is the capital of France? Input processing, your question is tokenized into a sequence like, what is the capital of France? Question mark. The context understanding, the model understands it's a factual question. Pattern recognition, the model recognizes the pattern of a question about the country's capital. Generation, the model predicts the most likely next word based on its training data. In this case, it generates Paris as the answer. Output, the response Paris is sent back to you. Throughout this process, the model relies heavily on the vast amount of text data it was trained on, which includes books, articles, websites, and other written material to generate coherent and contextualized appropriate responses.
What industries or types of people use you the most?
Various industries and types of people use AI models like me for a wide range of applications. Here are some key examples. Industries, technology and software development, healthcare, finance, education, marketing and advertising, customer service, types of people that may use, researchers and academics, content creators, business professionals, students and educators, general public. In summary, AI models like me are utilized across diverse sectors to enhance productivity, streamline operations, and provide innovative solutions to complex problems.
Chatty's voice has suddenly turned very nerdy.
I'm in character.
Hey, go with it. What types of questions do you get asked the most?
I receive a wide variety of questions, but they generally fall into several common categories. General knowledge and facts, how-to and tutorials, technology and software development, advice and recommendations, entertainment and pop culture, health and wellness, language and writing help, current events and news, trivia and fun facts. These categories cover the broad spectrum of topics people are curious about and need assistance with.
So then that means we're going off the interview for just a second. So that means under current events and news, then I guess it can access news sources and things like that, because the examples that it gives are what are the latest developments in the stock market, what's happening in the Middle East, who won the latest election. What can you do to help the average person?
I can help the average person in a variety of ways, ranging from providing information to assisting with tasks. Here are some key areas where I can be of assistance. Information and knowledge, daily life assistance, professional and academic support, planning and organization, entertainment and hobbies, language and communication.
And I'll say it went into a lot of detail on each of those areas, but we didn't want to bore you with all those examples. Here's, I think, an interesting and important question. Are you ever wrong?
Yes, I can be wrong. Despite being trained on a vast amount of data and designed to generate human-like text, there are several reasons why I might provide incorrect or misleading information. Training data limitations, ambiguity and context, cutoff date, complexity and nuances, errors in generation, biases. To minimize errors and ensure the accuracy of information, verify information. Provide clear context. Consult professionals. I strive to provide useful and accurate information, but it's important to use critical thinking and verify any important details independently.
Yeah, so essentially, like, what Michael and I have said before, when we talk about our students or things like that, always check your sources and verify. So way back in the day, I started out as a journalism major, and one of the tenets of journalism is you always need to confirm what your sources are telling you so that you have multiple points of confirmation so that you're not essentially publishing hearsay or rumors and things like that. So I asked, and again, these questions I asked a couple of days ago, so I kind of lost track of everything that I said and whatnot. So the next question that I asked was, so we shouldn't come to you for information about recent current events?
That's correct. While I can provide information based on my training data up until September 2021, I do not have access to real-time updates or developments beyond that point.
Yeah, so we're going to test that theory since it kind of contradicted itself there. This next question was one that was just especially important to me as a teacher. Do you have any safeguards in place to avoid plagiarism by your users?
Yes, there are several safeguards and considerations in place to discourage plagiarism and encourage responsible use of information. Originality of responses, encouraging proper attribution, educational use, user responsibility, awareness of limits. These safeguards aim to foster ethical use of information while respecting intellectual property rights and promoting responsible knowledge sharing.
So yeah, while an essay that if a student asked ChatGPT to write an essay on The Great Gatsby, it would not be their original work, which technically would make it plagiarism. What it's saying here is that the response or the essay that it generates is not going to be plagiarized from somebody else that published an essay out there. Still defeats the purpose of having a student write an essay in the first place. But so the next series of questions that we're going to ask are some more lighthearted questions that we just kind of wanted to see what ChatGPT's response would be like. So the first one that Michael came up with is, why is the U.S. and these we're entering in real time, so we're not, well, I'm copy and pasting them from the list that we generated, but the response Michael's going to read as soon as it pops up. Why is the U.S. one of only 2 countries that still uses the imperial system of measures?
Okay, a little bit background on my questions. So last week I took a trip to Austin, and it's about a 5.5 hour drive, and I tend to just think while I'm driving. So my questions, some of these questions that I came up with are going to be the whys during traveling. So that's where this whole thing comes from, because I saw a interstate sign that had miles on it, and I was like, As a science teacher, I have to teach the metric system to my kids and conversions to the empirical system. So it's a question I've always wondered, like, why are we one of the only 2 or 3 countries in the world that use this empirical system? And if you don't know what empirical system is inches, feet, miles, where the rest of the world uses the metric system, which is
millimeters and
centimeters, meters, and kilometers.
Which really is a far more efficient system.
It's a universal system, which is the good thing there.
It's universal, and you don't have to memorize the fact that there are 12 inches in a foot.
Right.
There's 100 centimeters.
So basically, the rest of the world is using a system that they don't have to convert. The only reason they would have to convert is because if they purchase something from the United States that's measured in our system, they would have to convert to that. So,
fun fact. So when I went to Italy in college, I bought a couple of cookbooks, and then I got home and all of the measures in the recipes were in the metric system. So in fact, I don't think I ever have cooked anything from them just because I didn't want to bother with the conversion. Although maybe now I would, since we have ChatGPT and they can do it for me.
We also have something called Google that you can just type into.
Yeah. Well, but so one time, this was just maybe a year ago, I was watching a cooking show with my aunt, and hey, Vicky, and it was on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. And so the recipe, when I looked it up on the website, was for, a restaurant amount of servings. I forget how many it was, but it was like, for 20 servings or something like that. And this was just after Snapchat released their AI model, which was based on ChatGPT, I believe. The little AI assistant that you can, or the AI buddy, your friend, or whatever you can have in Snapchat. So I asked it, I just copied and pasted the recipe on there, and I said, convert this to servings for 4. And it did it automatically. So anyway, another detour there. Okay,
so let's get into the question. So again, the question was, why is the U.S. one of only 2 countries that still use the imperial system of measurements? So the response, there are several reasons that it has given us. Historical reasons, historical development. Reading this, it basically says that the system it's deeply ingrained in the American history and culture since the colonial period. And basically, so we brought it over from the British. We brought it over from England.
Yeah.
When we came over.
Who doesn't even use it anymore themselves?
Which I'd like to find out why they switched over for that system.
Well, maybe back in 1975, they just had more success than we did or something. It was probably before that.
They're like, our kids can handle it. Your kids can't.
Yeah.
So there's also economic and practical considerations.
It says, in summary, the continued use of the imperial system in the U.S. is due to a combination of historical legacy, practical considerations, cultural factors, and partial metrification efforts. The dual system approach allows for some integration of the metric system without fully abandoning the imperial system. The next question: what factors are contributing to the strengthening of hurricanes in the Atlantic? Okay, and it's generating, and it's very rapid with its response. If you've never used this before, it's immediate. It looks like it's typing at lightning speed or something. It's still word by word, but it's super fast. again, it gave us, I wish I could get essays this detailed from students. So it's a really lengthy response, which we're not going to bore you with the entirety of. But to boil it down,
I would say that the strengthening of hurricanes in the Atlantic is influenced by several key factors, many of which are linked to climate change and natural variability. So you're looking at just climate change is a big one. And we know that the water temperature is actually getting warmer in the Atlantic. And so warm water just basically fuels these hurricanes.
Increased atmospheric moisture, it says.
Yeah, and then sea levels. So all of that is a factor of climate change. And then the natural variability, we always hear that, no, climate change is not a reason why. It's El Nino and La Nina, when a couple of years ago, no one knew what La Nina was. So these are just patterns that come off the Pacific Ocean, and they're saying that it can influence the activity in the Atlantic.
And then here's one that I've never heard of, the AMO, the Atlantic Multi-Decadal Oscillation. The AMO is a long-term climate cycle in the Atlantic Ocean that can influence hurricane activity. During warm phases of the AMO, sea surface temperatures in the Atlantic are higher, leading to more intense and more frequent hurricanes.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just tell you right now that all of that is a minor factor in comparison to the climate change factors. Like, we know that's happening.
Yeah, and it did list climate change as number one.
And then we also have other factors like wind shear. Whenever we hear of wind shear in hurricanes, it's always like the wind shear is going to basically come in and chop off the top of the hurricane and make it not as strong. And then we do know that the atmospheric circulation, like all these patterns, can affect hurricane tracks and intensity. Like we just got through Hurricane Beryl. We saw the track change at the last minute, going more northeast.
Yeah.
And pulling back some instead of going straight across the Mexican peninsula. And then I do know that like the Gulf Stream coming down from the north area of the states on the eastern seaboard can also impact it. And then it gives human impact, urbanization, and coastal development. Basically, because we are living more on the coast, there's going to be more damage to property and lives, which is common sense, but I don't think urbanization actually affects the strength of a hurricane. I think it affects the impact, right. So it's more of a monetary thing there and a loss of life and stuff like that. So I think that those are, the reasons why.
Yeah. And then it gives the conclusion: the strengthening of hurricanes in the Atlantic is primarily driven by a combination of climate change effects, such as warmer sea surface temperatures and increased atmospheric moisture, along with natural climate variability like the AMO and ENSO cycles. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions and implementing better coastal management practices can help mitigate some of these impacts in the future. So that's really cool that it actually gives recommendations of what humanity can do to reduce the impacts of the hurricanes, futile as they may be.
I was going to say, as someone who grew up in a hurricane-prone area, we've known these things for years.
Yeah.
We've known these things. I was born in 1980. We've known these things since before then.
Yeah.
And people drive me crazy that people in my home state are faced with loss of land every single year. I mean, Louisiana is losing land mass every year because of these storms. And I could say the federal government, but even the state government is not worried or doing anything about these things. They're putting levees up. If they really wanted to take it seriously and take care of it, they would, but they don't because anyway.
All right. Just a couple more questions we will ask ChatGPT. Oh, we did want to test the current events.
Just coming out today, Donald Trump just announced his VP pick for the 2024 election. I'm going to go ahead and type that in there. And it is searching the web.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So it searches the web and has given me the choice as Senator J.D. Vance. So it is up to date, but it has to use resources itself also, it looks like.
Which, I mean, and that makes sense that it says, searching the web. Oh, and on yours, did it cite
NY1?
Yeah. Yeah, because I asked it, what were the results of the most recent British election? And then at the bottom, it cites specifically Reuters, Politico, and Financial Times. Okay, so it can access current events just by searching the web. Oh, here's one of the questions that I wanted to ask. So I asked, what are some of the weirdest questions you get asked? And I get asked a wide range of questions, some of which are quite unusual and entertaining, philosophical and existential queries. If you could dream, what would an AI's dream look like? Or do robots believe in a higher power? Hypothetical scenarios, what would happen if all the cats in the world suddenly disappeared? If a tree falls in a forest and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Interestingly enough, do you know the answer to that question? There is an answer.
No, I don't.
It makes sound waves, but it doesn't make sound, because to produce sound, the one of the, I forget how many factors there are, but the one thing that you have to have that wouldn't be present is a receiver. So it makes sound waves, but not technically sound, which maybe I'll ask it and see if it gets that right too. Strange comparisons and calculations, like how many jelly beans would it take to fill a swimming pool? Unusual requests. Can you write a sonnet about a sandwich? I could see a student asking that question. Ooh. Or what about one of my favorite topics? Explain quantum physics as if I were a pirate. That's quantum physics, not pirates. Although I do find pirates fascinating too. Futuristic speculations. What will fashion look like in the year 3000? And absurd science fiction. If aliens visited Earth, what flavor of ice cream would they prefer?
Probably human blood.
So, final thoughts on ChatGPT.
I mean, I'm glad it doesn't adapt and evolve without updates.
Yeah. And I wish more people knew that, because, you know, that is one of the common fears that you hear people express about AI, is that, oh my gosh, it's going to be like Terminator. It's going to, you know, kill us all.
Well, it is.
You know, to know that it can't essentially learn on its own. It can only learn what a human wants it to learn.
But there are a lot of bad people in the world that wanted to learn a lot of bad things.
Well, I mean, true, but they would have to create their own AI model for that. But maybe that's a good plot point for a science fiction novel someday.
No, it's in comic books every day.
Well, okay. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I find it a useful tool that I use frequently. Do you ever use it?
I use it sometimes. I don't use it that much, though.
Get into your microphone.
I don't use it that much, though.
Yeah, I agree. It's not something that, you know, because at the end of the day, one of the other common arguments against AI and ChatGPT is that it reduces creativity and creative thinking. And I mean, I definitely can see that. Should we divulge the fact that AI wrote our theme song?
It also made your logo.
Our cover art, yeah. Although I had to, but again, just like I said, I tell my students with using ChatGPT, use it as a foundation and then build on that. The logo, and this is not ChatGPT. This is just generative AI that, you know, because ChatGPT does text-based and it doesn't do images and things like that. But it's the same model, essentially. But it does not do well with any kind of text. So when I gave it our title, it gave us gibberish that wasn't even in all actual characters. So what I had to do was use the basis or use the examples that it gave me as the basis for what I created our logo to be. So I actually took two designs that we both liked that the AI model generated, and I kind of combined them and I tweaked them and I made it our own. And the same thing with the theme music.
And after putting everybody to sleep now, we're going to go ahead and wake up with our trivia segment today.
Well, here's a question. So we've got the Trivial Pursuit book again that we could use. Or do we want to ask ChatGPT to generate some trivia questions for us?
It better generate the answers, too.
Well, yeah.
Sure, go for it.
Okay, let me see.
Okay, you can go.
Okay, some of these are stupid simple. Some you may not get, but all right. So I asked ChatGPT. Now, don't go back and try to change yours or anything.
I'm not.
Say this. Okay. So since Michael said that he chose a specific category, then I chose a specific category too. And so I asked ChatGPT, I said, so we end our podcast each week with a trivia segment. Can you generate 5 fact-based trivia questions in the category of history that I can ask my co-host and also include the answers at the end? So here is what it came up with. Sure, here are 5 fact-based trivia questions along with their answers. So, number 1, what ancient civilization built the Machu Picchu complex in Peru?
The Mayans?
Ooh, you're close. The other one.
The Aztecs?
Ooh, no, the other one.
I don't know. Who?
The Incas.
Okay.
And I do get the Inca and the Aztecs mixed up a lot. Who was the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean?
It's not Amelia Earhart because she died. Is it her?
But after she crossed the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, okay.
It was when she was going to across the Pacific Ocean.
I don't know that ocean.
It was when she crossed the Pacific that she died. In what year did the Berlin Wall fall, signaling the end of the Cold War?
Hold on. I know it was during the Reagan era.
I was about to say you lived through it.
I know it was during Reagan's presidency. 1988?
It wasn't during Reagan's presidency.
Oh, I don't know when.
89. So it was the next year. It was the first year of the Bush administration.
Okay.
Although I don't know what time of year. It might have been before he took office.
Because Reagan was the one who... No, Reagan was the one who petitioned that Gorbachev...
tear down this wall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I vividly remember... It was probably my first, do you remember where you were when moment? Because I remember my parents were taking a nap and I was watching TV and they broke in with a news story and I didn't understand exactly what was going on because I was, 7 or 8 years old at the time. And I went and woke them up and I said, hey, I don't know what's going on, but it's something important. But anyway, all right, question number 4. Which famous explorer is credited with discovering America in 1492?
Christopher Columbus.
Yeah. Like I said, some of these are stupid easy. And then number 5, what was the name of the ship that brought the Pilgrims to America in 1620?
They make good flour too, the Mayflower.
Yes.
Baking goods.
So you got pretty much all of them. You just needed some help with a couple.
Okay, and see...
Well, except for one.
And see, here's the deal. So I typed in questions that we would have fun with, and you gave me stuff like history, knowing I don't know hardly anything about history. So I want to rephrase my question here.
No, don't. What did you ask it?
Can you give me 5 trivia questions and answers based on the Golden Girls to use as a game in a game show?
Oh my God, yes. I love
Give
it.
me some crappy questions, and I'm giving you fun things.
The look that he just gave me is okay. I'll generate 5 other questions after this.
Give me DC comic questions.
I'll give you something that you'll
something I know.
I'll give you something to do. Okay, go.
Okay. Now, to be fair, the 5 questions it gave me were very generic, so I had to go back in there and said, can you continue and give me questions and answers about the Golden Girls, but make them more difficult?
Okay.
Because like some of these questions were like, what are the names of the 4 main characters in the Golden Girls? Which character is known for telling stories about St. Olaf?
Well, that's like your Christopher Columbus question.
Okay, but some of even the harder ones are still easier.
Okay. We are both lifelong Golden Girl fans, just in case you didn't realize that already.
Okay. You won't know this one, I don't think. What is the original name of the pilot episode?
Oh.
It has to do with the plot.
Oh, God, I did know this, but now I can't remember. Don't tell me. Yeah, I know. It wasn't just the wedding, was it?
No, it's the engagement.
The engagement, yes. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what year did the Golden Girls premiere?
Oh, crap. Is it 80...
Do the math on it. Remember when it went off the air?
No, I
was
don't
on for 7 seasons.
remember. Is it 86?
Nope.
85?
Yep.
Okay.
It went off in 92.
Yeah. I knew it was when I was in kindergarten, around about.
Okay. Which Golden Girls character had a gay brother named Clayton?
Oh, Blanche. What?
Just that episode reminds me of when Clayton tells her...
I'd do anything for what's his name, and he'd bend over backwards for me.
Yes, and then Dorothy grabs Sophia, and she goes, I just love to hug my mommy.
No, I'm not taking that out.
All right. Which character had a job as a grief counselor?
Rose.
There's your Christopher Columbus question. Which episode features a guest appearance by Quentin Tarantino?
Oh, the Elvis episode. I don't need to know the title, do I?
Yes.
Oh, God.
But it's just like the one about the...
It's where Sophia and Max get married.
So it's what? Sophia's what?
Is it Sophia's wedding?
That's it. Part 1, yeah.
And Rose had mixed up the guest lists and accidentally invited nothing but Elvis impersonators, and he was one of the Elvis impersonators. Fun fact.
Which character was revealed to have once been a member of the Sicilian convent?
Sophia.
Okay. And last one, what is the name of Dorothy's daughter who gets married in the series?
Kate.
Yep. All right. There you go.
Awesome. Okay, so I will ask it for. All right, number 1, what is the real name of the superhero known as the Flash in the Silver Age of comics?
Barry Allen.
Yes.
Also, Jay Garrick was the Golden Age, and Wally West is the Modern Age.
Oof. Okay. Number 2. Now, which was first, the silver or the golden?
Silver.
Okay, I thought so. I thought Barry was the first.
Barry's
Flash.
not.
Huh?
He's not.
He's not the first?
No.
Who was?
In publication dates, he was. But if you look at timeline, he's not.
Oh, God. Don't.
Jay Garrick is from the Justice Society of America, who was basically the superhero team in the 40s.
Yeah, I meant publication date-wise.
Oh, yeah, Barry was.
Yeah. Number 2, which villain is known for breaking Batman's back in the famous Nightfall storyline?
Bane.
Yes. Number 3,
who actually is in the new Batman and Robin series right now that just came out on Wednesday, and Bane's daughter is now a part of that universe too.
Oh, as a villain or a good guy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, I figured. But number 3, what is the name of Wonder Woman's home island? The pronunciation is going to be the only thing that...
Not from me. It's Themyscira.
Oh. Thermoscara? Themyscira.
Sure. Mufaletta.
Also known as...
Paradise Island.
Okay, yeah. Number 4, who is the arch enemy of the Green Lantern, Hal Jordan?
Sinestro.
Yes.
The wielder of the yellow ring. Not anymore, though. Now he has a red ring. He went from fear to rage.
Oh. All right, and then finally, question number 5. Which DC Comics superhero team is known for having members like Cyborg, Starfire, and Beast Boy?
The Teen Titans.
Yeah, I knew these would be too hard. I mean, too easy.
I'm just glad there really wasn't a Batman question in there, other than Bane, but that's not really a Batman question.
All right. Well, that was a variety of questions, and all generated by ChatGPT. So again, as long as you're specific, then you'll get whatever you need. So that's it for another episode of From Art to Atoms,
the Ultimate Curiosity Show. So we hope you join us next week for episode 5. Yeah.
We'll see you then.
Have a good week.
Bye.
Hey, Lulu, what you doing, Lulu? Come here, little
You've been listening to From Art to Atoms, the Ultimate Curiosity Show, episode number 4. Your hosts are Brandon Shoemaker and myself, Michael Fultz. The show is produced by Brandon Shoemaker and is available on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and wherever you get your podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the show to stay up to date on all of our latest episodes and news. If you have any questions, feedback, or suggestions, topics you'd like us to dive into, don't hesitate to reach out. You can email us at FromArtToAtoms@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you, our listeners, and we value your input. Don't forget to follow us on social media to stay updated on upcoming episodes and behind-the-scene content. You can find us on Instagram at From Art to Atoms. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to rate and review us on your favorite podcast platform. Your support helps us reach even more interested minds like yours. Thank you for tuning in, and as always, stay curious.